Following breaking news this morning, a woman is critically injured in a house fire in Baltimore County. We'll get the latest information coming up in a live report.
Protesters pulled down the Christopher Columbus statue near Baltimore's Inner Harbor over the weekend and threw the pieces into the water. Monday, dive teams in a tow truck pulled those broken pieces out. WMAR 2 News' Erin MacPherson was there. While that was going on, get a live report from her coming up.
And check out the water at the Canton Waterfront Park. Yeah, it looks clay-colored, right? Well, that's because of a water main break. An update on that story coming up on Good Morning Maryland.
You're watching the station that's working for you, WMAR 2 News. Now, Good Morning Maryland.
6 o'clock on this Tuesday morning, July the 7th. Good Morning Maryland. I'm Christian Schaefer.
And I'm Ashley James. Happy to have you with us on this Tuesday. Let's check in with meteorologist Sabrina Fine, who is working remotely today. Good morning, Sabrina.
Good morning, guys. Good morning to you at home. We are off to a very hot and humid day yet again, eventually leading to some afternoon thunderstorms, although I don't think they will turn severe like what we saw yesterday. A look at the radar shows us we are sweeping clean. Just to our south, there is, in fact, that flash flood watch that remains up. But for us, we are not dealing with as much rainfall in our forecast for today. Looking like 71 degrees, currently under partly cloudy skies. If you are planning to walk your dogs earlier, you do it, the cooler it will be. By 8 a.m., 77 patchy fog. By noon, already feeling the humidity very sticky, 84 degrees. And at 4 o'clock, you're now at 87. And this is when we introduce that storm chance yet again. It's not going to be as hot as it was yesterday, about 5 degrees cooler. But when you factor in the humidity, yet again, feels like the mid-90s. Guys?
Okay, Sabrina, thanks very much. We are taking a look at the roads right now as the sun starts to come up over Howard County. That is 95, moving along in both directions near Route 100. We will watch out for any trouble spots and bring you those as they develop throughout the morning. Well, we are following right now breaking news, a fire at a home overnight in Arbutus, Baltimore County. One woman in that home was critically injured.
It happened on Hopkins Avenue, not far from Washington Boulevard and Hammond's Ferry Road. You can see in this photo the house is destroyed. WMAR 2 News' Megan Knight is live at the scene for us. Megan, what do we know right now?
Well, Ashley, now that the sun is up, you can really get a good idea of just how badly this home was damaged after that fire broke out late last night here. The front of it is just completely charred. All the siding melted off. And you can see inside, too, a little bit. The stairway there also completely charred as well. So really just a heavily damaged home here this morning. Right now, emergency services from the Platinum Group are here to assess the damage. But according to Baltimore County fire officials, this fire broke out around 12:30, 1 o'clock here on Hopkins Avenue. And when firefighters got here, they saw heavy smoke and flames coming from the house. They did manage to rescue one woman who was inside. She was rushed to the hospital with critical injuries. We don't know her name, her age at this point, or how she's doing at the moment. But we know that one firefighter also had minor injuries. Not clear exactly what happened to them. As for a cause of the fire, that is still being investigated, and we don't know that there were any working smoke alarms inside the home at the time of the fire. We're live in Arbutus. I'm Megan Knight, WMAR 2 News.
Okay, Megan, we'll continue to follow that story. Thanks very much. This morning, there's now 2 Christopher Columbus statues left in Baltimore City after protesters pulled that one down over the weekend and threw the pieces into the Inner Harbor. Those pieces were recovered yesterday. WMAR 2 News' Erin MacPherson was there while that process was going on. We're going to check in live with her right now. Erin, it's been an emotional few days for people on both sides of this issue.
Absolutely. Good morning, Christian. Well, the Italian families who originally donated this statue more than 30 years ago wanted it protected. So they are frustrated that police did not intervene when it was taken down on Saturday night, and they want the protesters held accountable. And that's something that Baltimore Police Commissioner Michael Harrison says he plans to do. Now, he says a full investigation is underway, and there were a few officers assigned to the monument over the weekend, but as the number of protesters grew, Commissioner Harrison says it was tactically unsafe for the officers to put themselves between the protesters and the statue to prevent destruction. Ultimately, the statue was pulled down and then dumped in the water.
I understand the motivation. I don't necessarily understand the lawlessness.
I'm deeply saddened that this had to happen. This is disrespectful to the Italians.
Now, the statue was given to the city in the 80s by the Italian-American Organization Union. Now, since Columbus paved the way for many families in Little Italy to come to America, others believe Columbus Day shouldn't be celebrated, saying he stole land and killed people. Because of this controversy and the times we're in with other monuments being vandalized, the Italian community was working with the city to move the statue so it wouldn't be harmed, but they didn't move it in time. And when the pieces of the statue were being retrieved from the water yesterday, there weren't really any issues, no protesters here. There were a few people who said that the statue should stay at the bottom of the harbor, but again, no issues. And that same group who gifted the Christopher Columbus statue to the city many years ago says they do plan on filling this void with a different statue, not the Christopher Columbus statue. They do plan on refurbishing that one and then putting it on private property. Live in Baltimore, Erin MacPherson, WMAR 2 News.
Okay, Erin, thanks very much for that. As for what, if anything, might happen with the other two Christopher Columbus statues in Baltimore City, the one in Druid Hill Park and the one in Northeast Baltimore in Herring Run Park, so far the mayor's office has not commented on what could happen with those, but the mayor is expected to release a statement later this week.
6:05, Baltimore City Police believe they have identified the man who shot 5 people in Fells Point last month. Now they're trying to find him. Police say 21-year-old Kyle Thomas started shooting after a fight broke out between Thomas and another man. This was the shooting that happened around 1:15 on a Saturday morning last month, right on South Broadway, in the middle of Fells Point. When officers got to that scene, they found 3 women who had been shot, and then a short time later, 2 men shot in that same incident walked into a hospital. There is an arrest warrant out for Kyle Thomas. He'll be charged with 5 counts of attempted first-degree murder along with assault and weapons charges.
6:06 right now. City police have identified the man who they believe shot 4 women this past Friday. Dante Buckler lives in the home where the shooting happened, South Woodington Road, which is in southwest Baltimore. All 4 women who were shot there on Friday night survived. City police say the victims and other witnesses helped them identify Buckler as the gunman. If you have any idea where he might be, best thing to do is just call 911.
The 6:06, an effort to get rid of the dress code at a local restaurant group passes Baltimore City Council Monday night. Atlas Restaurants has gained attention over the past year for the dress code at its restaurants, most recently for a viral video of a black family being turned away at its Oizo Bay restaurant in Harbor East for not meeting the dress code. WMAR 2 News' Mark Roper is live at the Inner Harbor for us on this story. Mark, does the resolution put a ban to dress codes at all restaurants across the city?
Good morning, Ashley. Actually, the answer to that is no. You know, despite Baltimore being the home of several high-end restaurants, the resolution only calls attention to the Atlas Restaurant Group in the push to end the dress code at its 15 restaurants within Baltimore City. Now, a viral video happened to show last month a black mother and her son being denied service at the Atlas Group restaurant Ouzo Bay because he was dressed in athletic clothes, while a white child was seen in the background of the video wearing similar clothing at the restaurant, yet he had already been served. District 14 Councilwoman Mary Pat Clark introduced the resolution, which is called Drop the Dress Code, and it spells out its purpose is to call on the Atlas Restaurant Group as a community partner with a large footprint along the Baltimore waterfront to set an example and be a leader in racial sensitivity and social justice by eliminating its dress code entirely. The resolution calls it non-inclusive, divisive, and out of step with the values of the city. The restaurant, which inspired the resolution, does not sit in the same district as Mary Pat Clark, the councilwoman who introduced the resolution. Clark's district, District 14, is in North Baltimore, while Ouzo Bay sits in Harbor East in City Council District 1. But she explains her reasons why she believes the resolution was needed.
It leaves an establishment and its workers too open for interpretation and implied or intended or not for discrimination.
I was not put in the situation that the mother and her son had to endure, but as a black man, I'd rather they keep their dress code and the public, meaning black, white, Latino, Asian, etc., show them exactly what we think of it, not patronizing any of their businesses.
No, that was Northwest Baltimore District 7 Councilman Leon Pinkett. He was the only council member to vote against the resolution. We are live in downtown Baltimore. Mark Roper, WMAR 2 News.
Mark, thanks very much. We will continue to follow the progress of that one. Also, at last night's City Council meeting, a proposal that would eliminate any new gas stations from being built in Baltimore was also introduced. Councilman Ryan Dorsey sponsored the bill. He says it's focused on improving the environment in Baltimore City. He also believes that banning new gas stations would give areas that are considered food deserts in Baltimore a better chance at bringing in a grocery store. The bill would also ban parks in Baltimore from being turned into parking lots, and it would end the requirement that parking lots be built along with new homes or businesses. This bill would still have to go through another round of hearings in City Council.
A broken water main causes a mess that looks like clay in the water. See that color? The video shows the harbor area of Baltimore's Canton Waterfront Park. That broken water main on South Robinson Street in southeast Baltimore is now fixed. The City Department of Public Works says the discolored water is actually not dangerous since it's water mixed with dirt or clay. That's what causes that color. The city's drinking water also is not impacted by the discoloration, but one water quality expert we talked to says the sediment still has a lot of metals and potentially toxic contaminants. All right, and take a look at this video behind me. This is on North Point Road in Dundalk. It's in Baltimore County. Strong thunderstorms causing some flooding in that area. There was even a tornado warning at one point last night. And then more than 20,000 people have lost power. Right now, nearly 3,000 customers are still in the dark with most of the outages in Baltimore County. Sabrina?
Well, we are noticing temperatures today staying fairly warm, but not as toasty as what they were yesterday. It's also going to keep the chance of rain in our area, but not going to be as widespread as what we also saw on Monday. Right now, when we take a live look on outside, we're noticing out toward Westminster, mostly cloudy skies in our area. Temperature-wise in Annapolis, 72 degrees. Baltimore, you're looking at around 71. Your forecast for today, continuing to notice temperatures staying into the upper 70s by 8 a.m. Partly cloudy skies. By noon, we're looking at 86. And here goes that rain chance yet again once we get to the 4 o'clock time frame. Rain chance then about 40%. And you can see rainfall totals could range between around 1/100 of an inch to maybe getting close to 1/4 of an inch in the Inner Harbor, maybe also that into the Columbia. I do think some thunderstorms could sit in the area, and then we could see about an inch of rain. Coming up, we'll break it down to your area. Guys?
Okay, Sabrina, thanks very much. Coronavirus cases continuing to spike across the country, and there's one state that found that a lot of the new infections are not coming from older adults. That story's coming up.
And President Trump attacking NASCAR driver Bubba Wallace, demanding an apology from him. This comes after the FBI investigated an apparent noose in Wallace's garage stall last month.
Plus, we have dealt with the coronavirus, but some people have dealt with murder hornets, and now a bunch of these little guys have been showing up too. Ticks. That story after the break, 6:12 right now.